the demolished site on Monday. Many have viewed this as a political move against the Bayelsa State Governor Doyediri, who supported the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, but Governor Wike says it is not. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has promised to extend the administration's scholarship scheme to Rivers State students studying medicine, pharmacy and allied courses at the Wigwe University. Governor Wike said this while laying the foundation stone for the university in Ikwere local government area.
As regards the road we have promised, of course, this is also our contribution. I assure you that we are serious. You see, our own promise is not like the public sector promise. What is more important is the issue of the federal government to take this project as your own project. Because you will be competing with us from the city. You no longer be Azumba and the city. All of your sons say you are Azumba. But now with this university, you will now be competing favorably with us from the city.
The governor, however, warned that the state government will not tolerate any attempt by criminal elements to give a bad image to Wigwe University.
Take this project as a project. But it will sometimes, some of these are small boys who don't allow people to rest. Let me tell you, we will not pity anybody who dares to do anything to give a bad image to this university. If you are caught, forget yourself. If you are caught, forget yourself. This kind of investment is what anybody will encourage, and we're not going to take it easy with anybody.
Earlier, the governor commissioned the Elele internal road in Obiakpon local government area. He said the road is the fulfillment of his promise to the people of Elele.
We're here, like the contractor said, at the Commission of Works, 5.5 months ago, to flag off the construction of phase 2 of Elele internal road. And I did promise you that before I leave office, that this road must be completed and commissioned by us. Today is 23rd of May, 2023. With the glory of God, we are here to fulfill that promise we have made. So this again is another promise made and promise fulfilled.
Moving on, days after some youths were paraded over drug abuse in Omok community, Ogba Egbema Endoni local government area of Rivers State, the Chief Intelligence Officer of Onelga Security Peace and Advisory Council, OSPAC, Chinedu Amadike, has explained why OSPAC opted for this approach. As you may know, at least 29 youths were flogged as they were paraded 4 days ago over drug abuse in Omok community, Ogba Egbema Endoni local government area. The youths who were arrested in different locations within the community were said to be taking ice, also known as Nkbomiri. A video of the parade showed a group of 29 young men walking in a line while tied together. They were made to chant a song against drug abuse as they walked around the community.
These were the men that were caught smoking in Kurumini eyes.
The OSPAC Chief Intelligence Officer explained why they adopted what he called naming and shaming approach. He, however, advised parents to caution their children against taking drugs. He said many youths have ruined their lives due to drug abuse. A community leader in Akinima town, or the West Local Government Area of Rivers State, Iniata Ebieba, has called on the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to ensure that the relief materials donated for victims of flood disaster get to them. Mr. Aniata gave the advice while speaking with correspondent Oyekachi Wonsu.
I could describe it as a welcome development, but the materials came almost too late, so to speak, because I know that a lot of people must have died. There were a lot of deaths recorded that were too many to be called normal, and we are sure that most of those deaths were caused as a result of the anxiety, diseases, and other factors that literally against the victims of the 2022 flood. But all the same, there are people that are still alive. All the same, I want to advise that NEMA should ensure that the materials get to the hands of those that were really affected.
The community leader, however, urged the government to take preventive measures in face of disasters like flooding.
That they should rather rather be proactive than to be reactive in checkmating the challenges of the flood. Because already NEMA had warned us that this 2023 flood would as well be a very disastrous one. And after having sounded such a warning, it would be in their position. It would be their position to prepare early, because government, whichever level, can never tell us that it is duty of the people, the victims, or those in the flood-prone area to get themselves prepared to tackle issues of flooding when the time has come.
Recall that yesterday NEMA took delivery of relief materials donated by the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs for distribution to victims of the 2022 flood disaster. The disaster occurred between September and November last year. As anticipation builds following reports that the first petrol from the Dangote refinery will hit the Nigerian market by end of July, beginning of August 2023, some motorists in Port Harcourt have renewed calls for modular refineries. The motorists made the call in an interview with our correspondent while speaking on how adulterated petrol continues to damage their vehicles.
Most of the fuel they buy for this our area, like this Zoba, Rumosi, Axis, no today good. Most of them they mixed with bad fuel. I been don't buy one certain time, so I can't avoid to buy from that filling station again. So most of them if you fire away again, before you know, you move small, you just off, you just go wash the tank or maybe clean the fuel pump. Make government try to check the filling station, they check the kind of product they sell.
If they worry carburetor, many of the first people they buy the worry carburetor. They dry on your own, not the fuel well. If you look at our house, very black. Before our fan here, when they exist, we they get super fuel. But to make us happy, so we could get better fuel for our engine to last. They could get our own refinery.
Anywhere when I don't buy before, you know the good. I know they go there again. I know they buy roadside. Now for filling station I buy. The thing spoil my car.
As you may know, Nigeria's petrol consumption needs are estimated at 450,000 barrels per day, which is currently met making the refining of oil illegally lucrative. That many engage in the practice despite the dangers and a government crackdown. An independent report by the Stakeholder Network in 2020 had recommended that the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and Petroleum Technology Development Fund consider engaging artisanal oil refiners in plans for domestic refining, given that they are often producing fuels with better characteristics than official petrol imported into the country. Dangote refinery is expected to produce 650,000 barrels per day, including petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, and liquefied petroleum gas. Meanwhile, Rivers State Chairman of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, Francis Dingba, says the Dangote refinery will not be able to solve the problem of petrol scarcity in Nigeria. He said this on Nigerian FM's Morning Crossfire. I beg your pardon. The national chairman of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Billy Gillis Harry, says the Dangote refinery will not be able to solve the problem of petrol scarcity in the country. He said this on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire. Mr. Harry, however, appealed to the government and industry stakeholders to provide more refineries and create an enabling environment for private individuals to establish refineries.
I have said that that's not sufficient. We need to get all of the four refineries that are in country working. We need to bring in more refineries. The Nigerian government and the NIPEC should make it easy for refineries to be set up, and also feedstock, ensure to be able to give, confidence to the investors.
The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has harmonized the petitions filed by the PDP, Labour Party and Allied People's Movement and their presidential candidates. The chairman of the tribunal, Justice Haruna Sumani, made this known while presenting the court's pre-hearing report. The tribunal gave 3 weeks to the Labour Party and its presidential candidate Peter Obi to prove their case. All three parties are challenging the outcome of the February 25 presidential election, in which the APC candidate Bola Tinubu was declared the winner by INEC. Still ahead, Johesu threatens to embark on indefinite strike. Stay tuned. Niger Bridge, President Buhari in his virtual address, while dedicating and handing over the project, acknowledged their concerns about the country's rising debt.
This is a story of we do not act on infrastructure by accident. It has been a deliberate choice. Our government is to fight poverty, to create economic growth and employment, and to open the path of prosperity for our people. I'm not oblivious to the concerns and debates about stock of public debt. Those concerns are legitimate. Many of the debts are tied to projects and are transparent and verifiable. Next is the second Niger Bridge, which has been long in the making and is certainly now a reality.
On his part, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, will also join virtually, said the bridge is one of the 7 legacy projects of Buhari administration. He said following consultations with cabinet members, the governors of the Southeast, it was agreed that the second Niger Bridge be named the Muhammadu Buhari Second Niger Bridge.
Development and a story of people, all of which cannot be fully told here. This story must be told about how the federal, state government and traditional institutions can and must work together to deliver development and prosperity. And because my colleagues in cabinet and the governors of the Southeast who have spoken to me have decided that the second Niger Bridge must have a name, in consultation with them, we have decided that you will also declare upon the Muhammadu Buhari Second Niger Bridge, linking Anambra and Delta.
The 11.5-kilometer bridge in Onitsha across the River Niger connects Asaba with Ogbari in Anambra State and beyond. Construction began in 2016 with the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, PIDF. Meanwhile, the Abia State Commissioner for Documentation and Strategic Communication, Ugochukwu Emezue, has expressed a reservation about the decision of the government to name the second Niger Bridge after President Muhammadu Buhari. Speaking with correspondent Oyeka Chiwonsu, Mr. Emezue said another administration should have been allowed to name the bridge.
Naming the bridge after Buhari, personally, I don't really think it's something that is sitting down well with me as a person. You should have left it that way. Let it be the second Niger Bridge. After it will be there, written boldly there, that it was commissioned by President Buhari on so. I believe that the idea of naming things, probably when Buhari must have left, probably another person will now come and name it after Buhari, not when he's sitting as a president.
Mr. Emezue, who commended the president for completing and commissioning the bridge, however, kicked against the plan to toll the bridge.
I think it's a no, because you can't give us something with the right hand and collecting it with the left hand. So that's, for me, the other aspect of it that I don't like. But generally, we must say that the president has done well in commissioning that project on a record time.
Afrobeat musician Seun Kuti was released last night on bail from the detention of State Criminal Investigation Department, Panti, Lagos. A video of him being welcomed by friends and family as he returned home is circulating online. The musician was freed following the expiration of the extension of his remand in police custody. The Joint Health Workers Union has threatened to embark on an indefinite strike if the federal government fails to meet its demands. The National Vice Chairman of JOHESU, Obinna Ogbonna, made this known yesterday. In a letter dated May 9, 2023, the leadership of JOHESU issued a 15-day ultimatum to the federal government over alleged inconsistencies in the government's ongoing negotiations to adjust the concept. JOHESU is the umbrella body of health workers, unions and associations, including the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, the Nigeria Union of Allied Health Professionals, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, and the Senior Staff Association of Universities, Teaching Hospitals, Research Institutes, and Associated Institutions. Criticisms have trailed the remarks of a Nigerian YouTuber, MD Tiamiyu, for an interview he granted the British Broadcasting Corporation BBC. Mr. Tiamiyu, who is known for advising Nigerians and studying in the United Kingdom, declared that many of them were not looking for new qualifications but to start a new life abroad. He said most of those who applied for schooling in the country only considered it an alternative means to escape from Nigeria. Mr. Tiamiyu, who is based in Birmingham, granted the interview in the wake of the new immigration rules that will prevent Nigerian students and others studying in in the UK from bringing their families or dependents except under specific circumstances. Under the new rule, which will take effect in January 2024, the UK will remove the permission for international students to switch out of the student route and into work routes before their studies have been completed to prevent misuse of the visa system. Many Nigerians who felt displeased by Tiamiu's submission, as they said he had ruffled the chances of those who genuinely plan to study in the UK. Others also described him as a clout chaser who is seeking popularity.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
The US has distanced itself from an attack on Russia, which Moscow says ended in defeat of armed insurgents who entered from Ukraine. Parts of the border region of Belgorod came under attack on Monday in one of the most major cross-border raids since Russia invaded its neighbor last year. Russia later released pictures of abandoned or damaged Western military vehicles, including US-made Humvees.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard that the Supreme Court has stopped the Rivers State government from building on the site of demolished properties of the Bayelsa State government. OSPAC has defended the parading of 29 youths over drug abuse in Omok. NEMA has been urged to ensure actual victims of 2022 flood receive relief materials. Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has harmonized petitions. Johesu has threatened to embark on an indefinite strike. On the foreign scene, the US has distanced itself from an attack on Russia, which Moscow says ended in defeat of armed insurgents who entered from Ukraine. The news was edited by Choma Ezemafo. Rain is expected in Port Harcourt this morning. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Efemi Andrew. Good morning.